All right, what is up, everybody? We're going to jump right into this live show. If you guys are watching this after the fact, thanks for joining me as well. We have a lot to go over today. So, the first thing that I want to go ahead and jump into, we got a lot of news to cover. There's some injury updates, some stuff with the Motocross of Nations, some stuff from Loretta's, and we're going to also talk a little bit about the Ironman race coming up next weekend. So, unfortunately, today we did get the news that Colt Nichols is going to be out. He tore his UCL. We've been seeing a lot of this lately. So this is the same thing that Caden Manier just did. This is the same thing that Cooper Webb's dealing with. A lot of thumb injuries. It looks like reading this here, Nichols to miss the remainder of the SMX season, so he's not going to do playoffs, to undergo surgery. I believe even Jalik Swoll's dealing with this right now, but he opted to just keep riding because he missed the majority of the season already. So he's not getting it repaired. Cooper Webb didn't get his repaired. So really unfortunate for Colt, but looks like he's going to get that fixed. The next thing I want to talk about is going to be, it looks like Roger Decoster is retiring from the Motocross of Nations manager position. So let's go ahead and bring that up. We got to pull this up here. So this is interesting. He's going to go ahead and step down. He's been doing this for like 40 some years. He's won many titles in this position. So this is kind of strange. I'm not sure exactly what brought this on. He's going to be stepping down, and Mike Pelletier is going to take his place, the director. I think he's the director of the AMA. So the one thing I wanted to point out here was I don't think this is that big of a leap. Here, let me show you what I'm talking about. Here's a picture of the I believe it's the 2023 team when Christian Craig jumped in at the last second. So obviously you have Roger over there on the right, and then there's Mike over there on the left with the team. So it's interesting that they're handing off that job there to Mike Pelletier. I'm not sure exactly what brought this on. It's kind of sudden, especially with Motocross of Nations being just around the corner. So I thought that was something worth noting. It's kind of all over the place right now. But we'll see exactly what happens with that. I don't think it's going to, what I'm trying to say is I don't think it's going to make any major changes. So just thought that was worth noting. And then the next thing we're going to talk about is some Loretta Lynn's news. So this is pretty cool. If you guys see right here, sorry, 1 second. Okay, so this is awesome. This little girl right here, she's, I believe, 11 years old. She's the first female to win in Loretta Lynn's in an open class. So this is awesome. I believe that I'm not sure if her name is Racing or if that's just her Instagram handle. But either way, it's pretty awesome. You could see right here, there she is on the podium. So shout out to her. And if I'm going to get some video of her riding here, she was absolutely shredding. So let's grab this right here. Okay, well, that's not working. Sorry about that. Trying my best to do this with only one monitor. So anyways, she was shredding. That was awesome. Great to see that. Oh, here we go. I got it. Sorry. Let me put it up for you guys. So I guess that's not the best video, but it was awesome to see that. I thought it was pretty cool. And shout out to her for being able to do that. The future is bright with the females coming up in our sport right now. I thought that was really cool. The next thing I want to talk about is also at Loretta's. We had here. Oh, let me mute that before rupture everybody's eardrums. Also, go ahead and throw that up. So Chris Canning, unfortunately, ended up clipping this tree right here. Pretty gnarly. There's a lot of people pretty upset about this situation, questioning why the tree was even close enough to be able to hit. And unfortunately, he's not okay. He sustained all kinds of injuries. I'm not going to read through the laundry list, but he definitely needs our thoughts and prayers. And I'm curious if there was any immediate changes made. If anybody knows, let me know down in the comments below. I haven't heard anything as far as if they even tried to pad that tree or anything. I mean, you can see right there, it's right on the edge of the track. Luckily, there was some flaggers right there, so nobody landed on him. But definitely some pretty gnarly stuff there. I think he broke both of his arms and did some internal damage. So really hate to see that. Shout out to Chris Canning. Hope you feel better. And then I want to move on now to some storylines with the 250 class as we head to Ironman before we get into the next thing. So we have quite a few guys who could potentially be returning to the series. There's like 4 of the Star Yamaha guys that have been back on the bike now for quite a while. So I'm curious to see how that shakes out. Max Anstey's been back on the bike for a few weeks. Pierce Brown's actually been on the bike for 2 months already. So he could be returning. I'm not sure if he's going to return this year. His back injury was pretty gnarly, but he's been riding. So if he is going to return, I think now is the time we'll see him. He's got 6 more motos to try and score points for that SMX LCQ. So I think he could actually get in there if he does come back and push for it. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. He does have a deal with the team next year. And then as far as Daxton Bennick, he's been back on the bike for about a month since he's recovering from those concussions. He looks like he's ready to return too, so maybe we'll see him back. And then Cole Davies as well. He's been back riding for about 3 weeks. So theoretically, we could see all 4 of them back. I don't think Max Anstey will be back, but it's only been about 3 weeks for him. So I think he's going to need some more time. He scored some pretty good Supercross points, though, so he doesn't need to rush back as much as these other guys. And then as far as the KTM boys, Tom Vial has missed the last couple rounds from being quote-unquote banged up. And what I wanted to point out with him is he doesn't seem like he was that banged up. I'm sure he was sore. But if you check it out right here, this was what he did over the break. So, look, he crashed. He went down. That's great. He was, I think it was a shoulder and knee. But he looks pretty good here. He looks comfortable. He's out cruising, enjoying the weeks off, which good for him. He earned it. But I do expect that he'll probably come back in full swing. And if I'm not mistaken, he actually won at Ironman last year to finish off the season. I'm pretty sure he won Ironman. So I'm curious to see how that works out. And as far as his teammate, the exact opposite could be said. I'm pretty concerned about what's going on with him. So here, let me go ahead and pause this really quick. Listen, this is, I got to pull it up. Sorry. This is him during his last vlog, which was essentially the Red Bud vlog. And if you listen to him, he doesn't sound concerned like he's going to miss any time. And he never came back after this. So I'm just going to let this play really quick and listen to how he kind of talks.
All right, that's a wrap. NASCAR's done. Back to Florida tonight and back to work on Tuesday. So ready to get back to work and keep improving. See you guys next weekend. Thanks for the support.
So listening to that, going to go back to work on Tuesday. See you guys next weekend. And then we just never saw him. Not sure exactly what's going on there. He is expected to return at Ironman, but his results have in motocross, obviously he killed it in supercross, but in motocross, his results have been pretty rough so far. So we'll have to see how that goes. Hopefully he can at least get something going when he comes back, but I'm kind of nervous for him is all I'm trying to say. The next thing I want to highlight is that Dylan Ferandis is back on the bike. He's been dealing with that stress fracture in his leg. He did finish off Supercross, and that worked out for him, but it was something that he was kind of battling. So it sounds like he got that all healed up, and he's back riding. I think, in my opinion, we might see him back for some motocross. He doesn't necessarily need to. He could still come and ride SMX regardless, but I don't think he's looking to just jump right into SMX straight out of the gate. So I don't know that we're going to see him this weekend in Ironman. Maybe we will. As you can see, he's kind of just cruising the turn tracks, but you also do see him getting through these rollers and jumping some jumps. He looks ready to go, and I'm sure he's been keeping his cardio up. So I would not rule him out from returning this weekend either. That would be really cool to see. Kind of add some more depth back into that 450 class. Anyways, I'm pretty excited to see what Dylan can do. Not a lot of talk about him. He's supposedly going to Ducati next season. So great for him. He almost retired after last season, and then now he's been able to ride it out with these Honda boys, and looks like he might be getting another factory ride next season. Anyways, I'm sure he wants to finish off the season strong, but that is something that I'm pretty excited to see what he can do when he can return. And then the last thing I want to talk about is this Slowey situation. So check this out. We got Slowey Films here. Quite a bit of controversy going on right now with him and everything. So supposedly, where this all stemmed from was this video here. I'm just going to let it play really quick. See if we can get this down.
Being aggressive, but unfortunately we had a rider down.
I know. I was like, who the hell crashed? Why are they not saying the name? I was getting pissed yesterday. I found it, but it ain't good. They hid this video on purpose. It's pretty wild, honestly. The rider that went down was Jeremy Hand. We're hoping he's all right. I don't know exactly how he's doing right now. He lost control and then went through spectators. They hid this because they didn't want this on live TV or just on the broadcast in general. It makes sense in a sense, but I definitely feel like they should have said who crashed, because we all want to know that. If there's a red flag, we should know why or who.
Okay, so just to clarify, it was not Jeremy Hand who caused the red flag, and we've all accepted this at this point. He came out and corrected it. But this video right here is supposedly where the majority of this controversy stemmed from. There's been other things in the past, but this is like the main catalyst right here. So anyways, let this finish.
I just feel like that's mandatory. I have the video here. You guys can let me know what you think. This is freaking crazy. I don't think I've ever seen a video quite like this, to where the bike actually goes over the fence and like hits spectators. I found it. Thought you guys deserved to know who it was and what it looked like.
Start with. Oh my God. This will save you concern.
I'll give you a slow-mo.
There's no safety out here. It's like you go that way, you go that far.
It's like, why did the cameraman zoom back in?
I know.
He was setting up for Jet to come through.
You know, a camera here, I can't got more.
Okay, so a couple things that I think are interesting about this whole thing. Listening to the audio, so this was taken in the TV truck. I don't know who took it. It wasn't Slowey. Somebody sent it to Slowey. We don't know exactly the details on that. I'm sure that person's in a lot of hot water too. But listening to the audio of that, TV truck filming, you can hear that's a safety concern. And then why'd the cameraman zoom in? And while Jeremy Hand wasn't the cause of the red flag, it doesn't take away from the fact that they kind of just never explained what the red flag was for. Now we know. But it is kind of weird the way that the sport tends to cover these things up, or just not tell us what's going on. I've never been a big fan of that. I've always wanted to know, like, hey, who's down? Are they okay? So I appreciate what Slowey's trying to do. And then what ended up happening is he went to Loretta's. Now, as you can see right here, he has 2 broken feet. He can't really get around that fast. But anyways, he ended up,
The attorney.
let me just let this play.
You're served.
I'm served.
Yes, sir.
What does this
Sorry.
mean?
You need to get your stuff. We need to escort you to the gate.
Really? It's almost like you could have been paying attention to something else other than kicking me out. Could have like cut the tree branch or something off this tree before this happened.
So he's been kind of stirring the pot. He got kicked out from Loretta's. They essentially served him and trespassed him from Loretta's because of supposedly what he posted, you know, which was this Washu goal video. So they don't want bad press, and they feel like he's spreading bad press about the sport. Pretty interesting times as far as all that goes. I don't want to get too deep, but there's a lot of stuff going on. He's got this free Slowey merch out. I definitely appreciate what he's trying to do, the lane he's creating as a fellow media member, you know, somebody who just loves the sport and is trying to bring the stories to you guys. I get his side of the story, and I'm sure that MX Sports has their side. What that is, I don't know, but definitely some interesting times there. So I guess that's pretty much it. Let me make sure. Yeah, that's about all I have for you guys right now. So make sure, if you guys are watching this live, tomorrow morning I'll have our preview show, which we kind of go over everything as we head into Ironman next weekend. It's just a little something that I'm going to bring you guys to kind of go get us back on track as we move forward from Loretta's, to kind of set the pace back into pro motocross. And then, of course, next Saturday, I'll bring the race day update show like I do every Saturday. If you guys are watching this back after the fact when it's not live, thanks for checking out our show. Let me know if you want to see more stuff like this. I definitely will be smoothing things out as I get more comfortable with this and the software and things like that. But thank you guys for watching. If you're watching this on Saturday or anytime after Saturday, make sure you check out our preview show as well. And I will see you guys in the next video.